Hey everybody, we all know the story by now. You bought this GE machine, you were very excited to see how well it would run, the energy it would save, all of its features, and what happened was after a couple of uses, you started to run into problems. We've covered all this in previous videos, why it happens, as well as what can be done to remediate this. This includes videos that talk about taking apart everything so you're able to clean the machine properly, some areas that accumulation will cause significant issues that are able to be remediated. But at some point, we started to discuss how seals around the filter will significantly reduce, if not eliminate, many of the problems that people are having. After trying multiple combinations, the best possible seals were installed and tested and retested to see if there was any blow-by from the filter unit. A further question had to do with the rear seal and if it should be installed inside the machine instead of in back of the filter assembly. It was decided we leave it on back of the filter and trial it for 6 months, then report back in a video of our findings. But plans changed ever so slightly with the release of what is apparently an upgraded filter cartridge for this machine. Similar to the original filter by many measures, a suspicious change on the rear portion of the filter allowed for the connectivity of some device, possibly to shore up that gap in the back of the machine. The major change, of course, was the secondary element, as well as the order in which the elements would be within the filter cartridge. Since everything else about the perimeter of the filter assembly mic'd out against the old one, there was no problem at all to install the same seals in the same exact manner and install it on this new filter, maintaining the integrity of this 6-month test. And with that, continue to use my machine exactly as before with the seals in place to find out if in fact the seals have significantly improved the reliability and performance of this machine. So it's 6 months later, we're going to tear down the machine, have a look, and see if these seals did the job. Let's get started. If you're just joining us in this washing machine repair series, I urge you to stop now and catch up on all the other videos on this machine. I'm posting a link in the top right corner, including amongst other topics, the teardown of this machine. So I won't be showing the teardown on this video. You could follow along on that separate 6 months maintenance teardown video instead. However, I do ask that you do me a favor and hit that like button down below. It really helps out a lot when you do. All that's left now is this top cover, which I'm going to take in one shot. I will, however, speed this portion up until I'm at a point where I can remove that top cover, because I want everybody to see exactly what I see as it's removed. Off the tripod now, we can see here where lint collects because humidity causes that lint to stick to that portion of this case where it comes up from the drum. Minimize this by removing the filter when the machine's not in use. On the other side of the filter track, things here look clean. There's nothing here that looks troubling. Small blow-by here we'll need to investigate, but we'll make our way to the bottom half now. Starting on the left, we do see lint accumulating around this port right here. That has to do with humidity and leaving the filter in after the load is done. I've been asked many times what happens if you inadvertently drop things down this hole, it gets caught in the outside of the drum. And for that, I'm going to make a separate video about how to clear that. And for that video, I'll post a link right here on the top right corner. But this portion, in summary, is not a horror show after 6 months of use. What really improved are these fins right here. When you look at them, over here on the left is some blow-by, and we'll look at that later and see what the cause is. But with the exception of there on the left, these look almost immaculate. Just a little bit of dirt got by. When you compare that against how this machine used to look on a 6-month cleaning, the difference is night and day. You will find, however, on the bottom is going to be this dirt and debris, and that's because as it drips down, obviously, when there's condensate, it gets there on the plastic and carries the dirt with it. So you always get that little dirt line right there. That's not necessarily blow-by. But this is looking real good for 6 months. Just on the left, we'll see what's going on there, but everything else, we don't see that light dust that we saw in the last 6-month inspection. All the metal is clean back here. It's just that first layer had a little bit on it, but these are all clean. No dust, no dirt, no debris. A significant reduction in the amount of deposits that are getting in this machine. One other thing we'll need to check will be the performance and contents of this drain pipe. We'll compare it to how it looked the last time we opened it up. Here in the light, we have the opportunity to see the condensation that forms on the inside of this cover when you leave the filter in when the machine's not running. Again, removing that filter and also trying to get a brush on this side will keep things at bay. If you could loosen it, you could vacuum it out, as we did this piece, which I held onto for this video, but this actually came out of that filter area. So it does happen. At this point, I've gone through and cleaned this entire section to the left, as I've done previously in the maintenance video. It only took a minute to clean everything up, but I also paid close attention to this recess right here, where we have problems with the blow-by. Of course, using demineralized water or my zero water, I'll pressurize this canister so I could clean out everything anyway. There's no reason not to clean it out, even if there's just a small amount of debris, if you have the opportunity to do so. And while everything's looking clean, I still got that container of water. There's no reason not to give it a once over. Also, I want to see if it's going to back up and start dumping water into the drum like it did last time, owing to the blockage in that drain. And even though we're throwing about 2 gallons of water, or maybe 1.5 gallons, it's having no effect. It's not overflowing anymore. Looking down the center, I don't see any accumulation of water or debris near the drain, nor do I see any in the back of the unit by the fan. With that, we'll be removing the drain hose for inspection. I'll remove that hose clamp with these pliers. There's no way to get the camera in my hand and the pliers down there at the same time. But through the magic of editing, I've managed to remove that hose clamp. Now I'll remove the hose. No water came out, which is a good sign. We'll have a closer look, using a Q-tip to pull out any debris at the end, and we can see just this little amount of debris, minuscule compared to what was pulled out the last time. And this debris may very well have been from that rinse that I just conducted. So dramatic improvement, definitely no blockage anymore, or even the beginning of a blockage after 6 months of use. Major improvement. And that hose could go back on now. We're done over here. The small amount of blow-by here, notably due to this section, we have a couple things going on in this area we need to discuss. Here's the filter and the foam we've been using for several months, and it does sink down just a bit. Definitely not as supple as it used to be after half a year, but it does make the seal right over here. But it seems that the dirt is getting through right about over here. We're going to find out why. And the mystery is revealed. We can see right over here in that transition, there's actually a gap, because nothing is uniform back here. We could see when I added that separate piece, it simply wasn't long enough. We can see where it starts to bow, and then we end up with this large gap right over here. Basically, that one larger piece is just 1 centimeter too short, and all sorts of dirt and debris was able to blow through that small section. Had I left the filter in for a while, then pulled it out, I would see that curve right here and know that that outer piece was just a little too short. We could see that debris is right here in this small little open area, and that's how it was getting through for that blow-by. And that's actually good news, because with the performance increase in filtration we've seen, we know that we can make it that much better by adding a small amount of material to this filter. But not with this seal, because this seal has served its purpose and it's time to go. Look how well it still sticks on to the back of that filter cartridge. That's fantastic. I'll take a moment now to address a question people have asked with regarding these 2 holes right here, asking if I could 3D print a solution to put on the back of this filter. And there's a couple reasons why I'm not going to do that. First, these 2 holes here are not threaded, so people would need to buy a tap set and have the knowledge about how they could thread these holes or put in an insert that wouldn't go through this portion of the plastic. And I don't think a lot of people are willing to do that. Second of all, though I could 3D print a part here, very few people have access to a 3D printer to print the part, to procure the screws, to screw it onto the back of this filter, and then buy whatever type of seal would slide through a rail, allowing the seals to work in an effective fashion. Basically, I'm coming up with a solution that almost nobody could use. A cheap seal that's cut to size and thrown on the back of the filter is something just about everybody can do, and we've seen the proven performance of this method already. The edge of the filter comes just a little bit in this recess, so if the seal's a bit proud, that'll be absolutely perfect. But it's not with one layer here. Originally, I was trying to cut the seals to the ideal size while it was inside the unit. Turned out not to be such a great idea, because now it's too short, and I wasted that piece. So what I do is cut more than I need, and then adjust it later. Here we can see a long enough piece I've pushed in all the way to the end. That'll be the first layer for this bottom piece, and I have enough to work with later. Now I'll just cut it so it sits just a couple of millimeters proud of that center line, and place the second one right in front of the first one. As I press these seals together, I already know from past experience work with them, it's like it's welded on. And now I could cut that second one to size, again, just a little bit proud of that center line on top. Now I'm going to cut a small slit on the bottom because we do have to accommodate a little bit for that track so it doesn't bunch up. The seal, a couple millimeters proud, will perfectly accommodate now the bottom portion of this filter, a couple millimeters proud. I believe everything's looking real good for the bottom portion, so we'll move on to the top section. My initial plan was to cut a long enough piece, and after I put this slice in here, I'd be able to place it in, and once I pressed it down good enough so it was seated firmly, what I would then do is attempt to take the top portion, put a little slit right there, and then fold it over as a single piece, and that would shore up that area that we didn't shore up last time that we were getting that blow-by in. But once I tested it out with the filter, I saw the flaw in that design really didn't work too well. I was going to have to revisit this with a separate piece for that hole, followed by a piece that butts up to it here along the side. And when I did that, it made a nice L shape and everything fit really nice. Now when the filter butts up against it, we get a good seal even at that transition. We're going to go with this and start our assembly back in the machine. Keep in mind that the seal on the back of the filter works perfect. This, what I'm doing now in the machine, is just a proof of concept. It's much easier to implement this, and it works. So there's no reason to do what I'm doing. But again, I just want to see if it's viable, so I'm going to run with it. Carefully, I lay the top cover back over the housing of the heat pump, working very slowly and carefully. I don't want to seal it yet, though. I just want to get it almost closed, because what I want to do is look around back, and we could see that there's enough that'll compress, that'll make a nice seal between these two pieces. I'll get that cover fully seated now, and once fully seated, we could actually see everything through the shell. I'll add just a couple of screws here to the front and a few in the back so we can test it with the filter before we assemble everything. So I'm just going to slide the filter in. That no longer has a seal on the back of the filter cartridge. It goes in with very little resistance. The inspector's watching me, so I'm on my best behavior. And we can see the seals from the outside shell of the unit. So what I want to do is just move the filter back and forth and see if we can see the filter engaging those seals from outside. Here's the edge of the filter right here. We'll watch it move. It's a little hard to see, but you can see it move forward, compress the seals ever so slightly, and then come back out. So this is working good. We could actually get a visual of that, which I didn't expect. So we'll get this filter out of here and assemble the rest of this top half. I'd also noticed that the back of the filter housing has a provision for a sensor that they never put in, so it's capped off, but we can see it right here on the bottom. Very interesting. I wonder what that would have been for. The rest of this washing machine will be assembled as it's always been. However, I can say with the addition of the seals, we have reduced significantly the amount of dirt that gets past that filter, only to find that it could have been further reduced if I made the seals just a little longer. And that's good news, because your machine's going to be much more reliable for a lot longer. And that concludes this video on the 6-month seal testing of this GE Profile 2-in-1 washer. I hope you found this video enjoyable, entertaining, and informative. Do me a favor, hit that like button down below, helps me out a lot when you do, and hit that subscribe button to be informed of more videos like this when they come out. When the next video comes out in this series, a link will be posted in the top right corner. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.